Welcome to the module Coordinate Geometry. In this module, we will look at the XY plane, also known as rectangular coordinate plane. As you can see in this picture, the XY plane is made up of two axes, x-axis, which is the horizontal line, and y-axis, which is the vertical line. Both x and y axes intersect each other at a point called the origin, as you can see on the figure. At this point, they intersect each other at a 90-degree angle, meaning that they're perpendicular to each other. Also, as you can see here on the figure, that x is positive on the right side of y-axis, but is negative, as you can see, on the left side of y-axis. And y-axis is positive above the x-axis, but is negative below the x-axis. Since now we know a little bit about the XY plane, the next question, or the next logical question, would be, how do I find a point in this plane? Well, if I was to ask you, for example, what is this point right here? Well, since I am dealing with an XY plane, I will need what is called the ordered pair that will consist of two coordinates, x and y. And for this specific point, I would first walk along the x-axis. So I have to walk 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right, and then I have to do my y walk, which is 1 and 2. So the x coordinate for this point becomes 4, and the y coordinate for this point becomes 2. So this specific point is represented by this ordered pair, 4 and 2. Let's do another example real quick. What would be this point right here? So I'll have to walk along x-axis first, so they can see I have to walk 1, minus 2, and minus 3, and the point is right along minus 3. And then I have to do my y walk, which is go minus 1 and minus 2 units, or 2 units. So the ordered pair representing this point as minus 3, which is my x coordinate, and minus 2, which is my y coordinate. So for this specific point, my xy ordered pair would be minus 3, minus 2. So now you can find any point in this XY plane. One other thing that you will notice here is that this XY plane is divided into 4 different quadrants: quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. And each quadrant has its own specific signature or characteristic. In quadrant 1, both x and y are positive. So if I pick any number in this quadrant 1 that is, as you can see, in this area, then both x and y will be positive, just because x is positive in this territory and y is positive in this territory. In quadrant 2, x is negative, as you can see, this is the quadrant 2, and y is positive because we are still above x-axis. That's the reason y is still positive. In quadrant 3, they both are negative. X is, as you can see, is negative in this area, and also y is also negative. I apologize for this line. It's not as straight as it should be. In quadrant 4, x is positive and y is negative, because we're below, y is below the x-axis, so it's negative. However, x is on the right side of y-axis, so it's positive. One thing you would notice is that y and x are both positive only in quadrant 1, as you see here, and they're both negative in quadrant 3. Sometimes this comes in handy, but in general you should know which all these 4 quadrants and how negative and positive occur for both x and y coordinates for a specific point. Since now we have had a brief introduction to coordinate geometry, the remaining module will build on what we have learned so far, and we will cover the topics that I've put on the screen here. We will learn about how to find distance between 2 points, how to find midpoint of 2 points, slope of a line, how to find intercepts, and what does slope and line orientation mean. We will discuss equation of a line in both slope-intercept form and point-slope form, and we will look and discuss the connection between functions and the coordinate plane.